So, 15, 20 years later than originally intended, you're going to release a sequel to Sudden Fury. Firstly, how does it feel?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing, Sam, because yeah, the last 5 years have been the hardest 5 years of my life. Honestly, it's been a real struggle to get to the end point. But we're there. We're over that. I'm doing a small limited distribution on Blu-ray just to get it out there. We've
Mm.
just signed a deal in Italy, so the trilogy will be coming out in Italy after the summer. And yeah, hopefully there's some festivals lined up. We're just waiting to see whether we've been accepted into. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Grimfest, which is up north somewhere. Dead at Night. There's one in Italy. I can't remember them all now. So that'd be good, because the other thing is when you've got your movie and you start getting it shown in festivals, and especially, excuse me, if you can get into festivals that have been long running and you get a good turnout and you get word of mouth, then
Mm.
people start, especially now with social media, as soon as someone's seen a movie they like or don't like, it's on Facebook anyway, you know so that's good. And there's a lot of aid out there in terms of, once you've got your movie finished, there's so many places you can go to get gladly review your film. And as the way the technology is now, most people see their movie reviews on social media.
Come in. It has been a long time, my friend.
I got out, just like you. It took me years before I could sleep with both eyes closed, but I did it. And now some Russian scumbag has taken away everything that I held dear to me.
How much has actually changed from your original version of the script? Without going into spoilers, obviously.
Well, basically, in the original script for Beyond Fury, it continues immediately from Sudden Fury. So Walker continues to crawl across the ground. Oh no, sorry. At the end of Sudden Fury, he's in the car, isn't he? And the
Yeah.
credits come up. So Beyond Fury, he would have fallen out the car, dragged himself along. I don't know. Ended up in a hospital somewhere, and it turns out that someone, imagine the original script, Randall in Sudden Fury, I think, mentions he had some deal going on with some other organisation. So these guys would have just stepped in, and the original Sudden Fury, Beyond Fury, didn't have the whole Walker with, the pregnant girlfriend, and it was
Mm.
very much, it was the same day as Sudden Fury. But so many years went past, and sorry, Nick got bigger, and Nick's hair fell out, and
Mm.
yeah.
It looks more like an action star, though.
Yes, yeah. Nick's been brilliant. He's no, he'd be cursing me saying this, but no, we've laughed over the years. We look back now, we look so young, we're so well. I haven't changed too much, but he's changed dramatically. And with every movie we've done, he just gets better and better and better.
Mm.
And I think he really grown. Walker and Beyond Fury is great. Walker, that's Walker. He's really grown into that role, and he plays it brilliantly. After Day of Violence, about 2012, I dug the original 2000 script out, and then spent a couple of years really, just because I knew if we started it, it was going to be a beast. I just knew it was going to be the biggest thing. I wanted it to be the biggest thing, and as I said, a lot of circumstances. Nick had moved away from Southampton, so now living in London, married, kids, everything else as well. So it became much more difficult for us just really to get dates locked. The script now and the film now is a better movie than it would have been. I mean, it would have been a lot more bangs in it and stuff. But I'm very, very happy with how it turned out.
Can you explain how much Indiegogo helped with the funding of Beyond Fury?
This again, with new technology, you had things like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and I'm sure there's loads of others as well. I don't know the names of, but yeah, I'd never used them before, and I've seen a few going round, and some being not successful at all, some being really successful, and others kind of just pootling along. And it's a horrible task to do that, because you got to bare your soul, throw everything out there, and you're constantly hounding people. Oh, give me money, give me money. day in, day out. But it did generate X amount for the movie, you know.
What the newspapers called him, the angel of death.
So you said sort of at the start, you're now 3 features deep. Were you still wearing the same amount of hats, or were you wearing more?
I was kind of, wearing more. I mean, or the same. It just felt more. No, more. Literally, I mean, well, where do you start? Say, for example, I need 25 crew actors. Let's say 30 people I need for a weekend. So let's phone. Let's however you want to do it. Doodle poll, email, text message, good old-fashioned phone calls. 29 can make it. That 30th one is imperative for what you're doing on that weekend.
Yeah.
So what do? You have to phone. It's forever on the phone. Location hunting, costumes, props, special effects. I did most of the pyrotechnics in Beyond Fury as well. I'd done them many years ago because I've done so many with Alistair. But Alistair did come over and do a few days on the movie, but he was tied up for the last 4 years on Game of Thrones, so he was over in Ireland, and I had all the pyros here. So I was the club shootout I did all myself, all the finale of all the squibs, all the squibs I did basically.
So how has post-production been on Beyond Fury in comparison to the first two?
It's been arduous, and that's through no real fault of anyone's really. It's just the process has changed. Post on Sudden Fury, we all did it Pete's. There wasn't so much colour correction or grade going on with fiddle with brightness and contrast, or he would. I didn't get involved at that stage. Nightmares, A Day of Violence, I edited also Beyond Fury under the guise of Mirage. That's actually me in my studio at home, and I graded, if you want to call it a grade, a Day of Violence myself here using Final Cut. Just learning online tutorials. Oh, look, there's a colour wheel. Let's drag that about. See, what does that do? Well, that doesn't work. That works. I'll go with a bit that works. Just like anything else, just struggling through it and doing it. I hate CG. For when you're George Lucas and you just throw it there because I'm doing everything in a green screen and nothing's real. That's not movie making. I was really kind of like nervous, like because I got 270 visual effects in this film. You seen it? Did you see 270 visual effects?
No, not really.
Excellent, because most of them are in 2 sequences where we green screened. So no, and it's really intricate, Chris you'd have a team of people doing 270 visual effects. But no, it's just Chris doing it with his other full-time job as well. So it was just sort of like, well, that's just the way it was. That's just the process. It was a different process. But now it's done, it is done, and it's another big learning curve. It's just a lot of work for one guy to take on, doing all the edit, all the grade, all the visual effects. And then suddenly we'd finished filming in November 18 is when we wrapped shooting. Has been with Chris since, so the poor guys had all the pressure on him sort of to get it done. But the music was getting done in the background as well by Dave Andrews, his thumping score. So I will say, Dave Andrews is back to score Beyond Fury because he scored A Day of Violence as well, and they're just really dirty, crunchy electronic scores. And they're great. They're great. Absolutely love it. And again with Dave, Dave doesn't need to ask me. Dave just sends me a piece, because I send him the footage and it just fits. And it just fits. I don't need to go, Dave, what if you change this bit? It just, wow, So it's great to have relationships like that when you don't really have to say much. But yeah, so Post has been a real on this. But as I say, looking at it, it's all finished. It's well worth the wait.
If you'd like to see more of my conversation with Darren, make sure you check out the 4th and final part.